this is Soap the Great, bringing you another episode of Building This City on the Adventure Time multiplayer server. How's everyone doing? I hope you are doing well. I certainly am. Hey, we are over at the end farm, and that is because I am attempting something here. I've got a diamond hoe. This is the first time I've ever created one of these. You may be wondering, why in the world are you doing that? I'm going to try and put an enchant on here, and you can't. Okay, so I don't think we have any unbreaking books. I know you can get unbreaking on a hoe, but we don't have any unbreaking books. It looks like nothing. It's all Bane of Arthropods. Yuck. Yeah, there's no unbreaking. So you know what? I'll just throw 30 levels on this thing, and we'll stick with the diamond hoe as it is. But you may be wondering, why in the world are you worried about... Ooh, that's nice. You stick with me. Why do you need a diamond hoe? And that's because we are getting ready to work on the farms for the Memorial Village project. Okay, so in the last episode we what did we end up doing? We finished up the church and the fountain and the marketplace stalls, which was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to build that and kind of let the creative juices flow. And yeah, that was great. But we need to get into more of the practical stuff. We need to start getting the farms ready and start moving some more villagers in. So I'm going to be using the hoe a lot, okay? And so I was really hoping to get unbreaking, but I'm not going to sit there and farm for it. But we're going to head on back to the village, and it's going to take me a little bit to get there. So I will just cut, and we'll be right back there in just a moment. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that did not take as long as I had figured because, well, this happened to be the last bed that I slept in. So coming out of that end portal, that is exactly where we ended up. So that works out. And I didn't have that long to go, but here we go. I've got the diamond hoe, and let me set up the situation a little bit here for you. Now, in most villages that you come across, you will find some sort of a farm, and usually it's got carrots and potatoes or wheat, and you can use those to get any of those particular crops if you happen to be low on them. And this village is going to be no different. They do need food, so we're going to set up some farms, and that is why we've got the diamond hoe here. So one of the first things I want to set up is a wheat farm, and we're going to take some creative liberty again, kind of like with the church building there and the well. We're not going to do a standard Minecraft village farm. I want to do something else, and it's based off of an idea I got from the Building with B00 series when he was working on a farm, and he had just a sprawling wheat farm. Now, I'm not going to have as large of a wheat farm as he did. Instead, I just want a little area back here. I want to start at the river and go along this fence line, and that's going to be problematic there. Go along this fence line all the way to the road, and at this point I'm not exactly sure where on that side the boundary is going to be, but you know, we can start over on this corner. Let me just show you a little bit of what I'm going to do. So we'll take the hoe, just till some dirt, plant the seed, and I've got some bone meal here. I'm going to need a lot more just to make this go a lot faster, but that's what we're going to do: till, seed, bone meal. Okay, so I'm going to do that all along here. You can see it's a pretty large area just for doing that, and along the way you know, there are some areas here that still aren't quite the best as far as the landscaping goes, so I might do some filling in with dirt just to make it a little cleaner on the edges, little more contour going on, but we'll see how that ends up. But I'm going to cut and take care of all that, because that will probably take me a while, and it's not the most interesting. The end product is more interesting. So anyway, I'm going to jump cut, and when I come back we should have the final boundary set over there, and this should all be full of amber waves of grain. Alright, so I will see you in just a moment. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and you can see that the wheat farm is done. So you can see my far boundary over there. Didn't take it too far, but this gives an idea of rolling hills, which I think is pretty cool. I'm just standing up here. I've got the HUD heads-up display off just to give an unimpeded view, but let's bring that back up, and we'll bring up my shovel and drop down here. Wanted to give you an idea of the overall scale. Let's just walk around a little bit and you can see kind of what's going on. Now in most farms what you're gonna do is actually put in water source blocks. That makes things grow faster, but we've got the skeleton farm, and the bone meal just makes it a lot easier to get this stuff growing. But there we go. So yeah, we got wheat, and really once you're in the middle it looks like wheat and wheat and wheat as far as the eye can see, and that's kind of the feel that I'm going for. We're not going to be using this as a real farm. The primary idea is just for the looks for this village. So yeah, and I've even got it blocked off using that gate. I gotta be careful dropping down here. That worked just fine. So that in 1.8, if this map ever gets loaded up in 1.8 and we've got villagers out here, this is going to prevent them from jumping in there and harvesting all of it, because farmer villagers will do that in 1.8. The other upside here is that cropland does not spawn mobs, so we don't have it lit, and that's fine. We're not going to get any hostile mobs or even neutral mobs, so no cows, chickens, or pigs are going to show up in there. So that's good. But that's it for the wheat farm. Next up, what we need to do, we need to finish out the farm area, and it's all going to be on this side. We need a carrot and potato farm. We probably need a little house for the farmer that's going to work this, and it's not actually going to be one-step farmer, it's just the idea that there is a house for it. And then this structure right here is temporary, and we need to make sure that it's temporary. Probably need to replace that with a better building. We'll see what we can do there, but I need to think a little bit and kind of figure out the placement of everything, because we got to fit a couple of buildings in, plus that farm, and the farm takes up a decent amount of real estate, but I'm not exactly sure where it needs to go. So I will take a little break here, think about it. When I come back we should have a little bit of progress done, okay? So I will see you in just a moment. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and that little amount of time, at least for you, was a decent amount of time for me, and the reason is because, not because I lost inspiration or anything, it's just because I got kind of brain freeze a little bit about where to put things. So I knew that I needed, I talked about it, we need a hut and a little farm and possibly some other stuff. It's just a matter of figuring out where to place it all, and so my brain kind of froze up. And in the end, what I did is, I think the big problem was the construction hut, and it was an actual physical barrier, and that was leading to a mental barrier as to where things should go. So what I've done here is I've removed it, and you can see some of the progress that's been made already. But I pulled out that portal for the time being. We'll move that still got to stay in the same spot. That's why I left those two. But I moved out the bed and some of the other stuff, and we still got the chests to take care of. And we're going to rebuild it, don't worry, but I needed to get that out of the way so I could think a little bit more freely. And after I did that, I put in this little path, and the idea is that this is the path going back to the farmer's hut, and it kind of follows the contour a little bit, comes around the hill here, and follows the land instead of cutting through it. We come up here, we come to our wheat farm, and then here we go. It's a little hut. You've probably seen something similar in other Minecraft villages. It is the small hut design. It generally gets generated on the outskirts of the village, and it usually doesn't have a door. Don't worry, we are going to put in a door later, but I'm not sure if I've explained that. I'm going to put doors in once we get the rest of the village done and start getting some villagers in. And once we put in doors, it is going to count as a village, and that is going to get iron golems spawning going, and I want it to be centered around a certain point, so no doors until that point. But anyway, we've made a little bit of progress. We got our path here and got our hut. Next thing we need to do is the farm for carrots and potatoes, and then see what we can do about a new construction hut. Okay, so yeah, when we come back, we should have the carrot and potato farm somewhere in this area, because we got some room here, and we'll see how far we get on that one. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We've got our carrot and potato farm right here outside the farmer's hut, and right close to the wheat farm. The other thing, you can hear pretty close to me the nether portal, right? You can hear it? Yeah, that's because we've put in another house. So this is the large house variety. Now I forgot to note that we are now on to the Minecraft Village blueprints, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to those in the description below, and you can actually see blueprints for every Minecraft Village structure. And so right here we got the small farm. Right there is the small hut with the addition of slabs on the top to keep mobs from spawning up there. And then this is the large house variety, with a few improvements for our particular situation, namely the wide staircase here, and then inside we've got this little area here to go down to the basement, and this is where our nether portal is and our construction stuff in the bed. So yes, this is going to be doubling as our construction office. So that's pretty cool. So this is the large house, and it fits quite nicely along the path here. We're still waiting for the grass to spread. I've done some landscaping. Probably should get a little bit more gravel. Gonna fill this path out. I don't know. You let me know what you think. Should we put some more gravel here, or just kind of make the path disappear into the grass right there? But yeah, so far so good. But now it is time to transition. We've got our farm area, our vegetable crop farm area done. The next thing we need to do is the animal farms, right? So I think it was a couple of episodes ago when I noted that we had gotten these cows pinned up here, and that's because the animal farms are going to go over on this section of the village. So what we need to do is line out some pasture area for cows, sheep, and pigs, and we're going to get that done in this area, and then we'll have to wrangle up some pigs and sheep because we don't have those right here. We do have the cows, so it's just a matter of moving them over, but we have sheep over at spawn, so I might steal a couple from there, and get some pigs somewhere. I think I've got some stored near a village that's off that way, so I'll have to bring them through the nether hub, or through the nether, and we'll see where it goes from there. So anyway, when we come back, I will have some pastures laid out, and we'll see where we go from there. Alright, back in a bit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, we're back, and you might notice these guys. What I did, in addition to getting the pastures done, I went and grabbed a bunch of eggs and just spammed eggs all over the place, so we'll have chickens running around like they own the place. And you get that sometimes in kind of off the beaten path farming communities. Maybe not so much in the United States, but it is pretty common in other countries where they have not gotten too far removed from their food production like we have here in the US. But anyway, I don't wish to go on too much of a tangent there. We've got a paddock for our cows. We come through here, and we got sheep, and I've been breeding them up kind of slowly. I'm not too worried about getting their numbers up right now, but there's the cow pasture. Here's the sheep pasture, and then you notice we got pigs. And when I was talking about rustling up some sheep, it reminded me of a funny story about some ancestors of mine. We have some French ancestors in, way back. Oh, hey, got a chicken in there. Some French ancestors, and they were invited by the French government to come to the United States, and it was pretty much go to the U.S. or go in prison, because they had a habit of rustling sheep that weren't theirs. And if you're not sure what rustling is, it is a fancy term for stealing. So yeah, I have sheep stealers in my ancestry, but that's neither here nor there. We did get some pigs, and there's a funny story about them too. I had two stored at a village. It's that way. I don't think I've ever shown it on camera, but it's where I got the donkey as well. I had two. I managed to get them through to the large house over there, and I had them on leads, and one of them fell off the stairs, and it was just bouncing, and as soon as I let go of the lead, he hit the ground. And that's a bug in Minecraft where a bouncing entity will accumulate fall damage, and as soon as they touch the ground, they will die. So I had to go find another pig, but we've got two, or I managed to get two, and I've started breeding them up, and we'll do that a little bit more as well. But next up, we need a little house, kind of continuing on the same theme of keeping a house close by the where work is done. And we also need to get a butcher shop close to town, because we've got the animals now. We need a specialist in the processing of meat products, and so I think right around in here, I don't know the exact dimensions right now. I'm going to go to the Minecraft Village Blueprints section of the wiki, and again, link in the description. But I'll get the butcher shop done, and I'll get another house done over there for our animal tending staff member. So yeah, so we'll see what that ends up doing, and I will be back in just a moment. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and here we go. We've got a little house for whichever villager happens to be tending the animals. It's a small house variety, and it's the one with a little observation platform up top. I've lit this up so that mobs don't spawn up here. And then down below, we're doing the glowstone and carpet trick again. So yeah, that's a very useful trick if you want to hide some lighting. The next piece is this little butcher shop. And I'm following the plans from the Minecraft blueprints on the wiki, and again, link in the description for that. Back here we've got our little yard, and then in here is the counter, And eventually I'm going to get another villager, a butcher villager in fact, and stuff him back there and lock him in so he's safe from zombies, but we can still access his trades. And yeah, I haven't figured that quite out how I'm going to do that, so we'll get to that later. Still to do, I need a path going back to that hut. And then I also need to fill in with some mossy cobble to make this look like it's been here for a while. And I don't know if I'll change. I think I'm just going to stick with the cobblestone. But speaking of butchers, we've had a suggestion from Nelium APG to name our butcher. And he's been a regular viewer for some time, and he's been fun interacting with him. He's had a lot of great suggestions, and I hope that I have given him credit wherever I have used his ideas. But this is one particular case where I'm making note of it. He said, name the butcher Vintaggio Beefcake. So I'm making the supposition that this is an homage to vintage beef on the Minecraft server. And so we've got our butcher right there. And he had another idea for inside the church building here. Under these tables, there used to be the stone brick and cracked stone brick and all that. He suggested putting in wool to make it look like the carpet was going all the way to the wall. And I think that is a great idea. And I've done it up here as well. And even right here under this set of stairs. So yeah, thank you very much, Nelium, for those suggestions, and you can check his channel out in the description below. He's on the Cro-Magnon SMP server, and see what he's doing there. They got some cool stuff on that server, and it's fun to watch. So you take a look too. That'd be great. But you know what? On thinking about this, he didn't specify which villager we should name Vintaggio Beefcake. He didn't say our permanent resident or our dearly departed. And so that's a bit confusing. Should this be Vintaggio Beefcake, or should that be? Nelium, do let me know which one you were thinking, because as I'm going through this right now, I'm not sure whether you wanted this one to be Vintaggio Beefcake. Or how about this? How about we make this senior and then that one junior? So it's like there's a little bit of a, even more of a tearjerker melodramatic thing for this memorial village. What do you think? I think I'm going to go with that route. We'll rename this guy to Vintaggio Beefcake Senior, and then I'll go get another name tag and rename this guy. But yeah, that's it. Let me show you one more thing, and that is up here in the construction hut. I've done some work here. I put in a carpet, and again, I want to hide the lighting as much as is practical. We don't even need these torches. All done. Don't need them, because we've got plenty of lighting all around, and we're not going to have issues with mobs spawning. The other thing in here is I changed up the ceiling and put in stairs instead of the full blocks of oak. And then down here I've got slabs on the ceiling just to hide the glowstone from this side. And then down here we did the same thing with the carpet. So yeah, if you didn't know about that little trick, you can put carpet over top of any light source and it will still let the light through. Did I fix this one? Yeah, okay. Oh, one more torch. Thank you very much. And that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We've gotten a decent amount of work done. Yeah, there we go. We got some carpet in. Decent amount of work done. We've got our farm, wheat and carrots and potatoes, and then we've also got a place for our animals, and we're starting to see some more buildings fill in the town. So we are progressing fairly well along, and I would dare say we are past the halfway point on this village project. I've got a couple more episodes to go, but if you enjoyed this video, do let me know. Leave a like, it's always appreciated, and let me know what you think in the comments below. We still need some names for the rest of our dearly departed and our new permanent residents. And let's see. Yeah, and that's about it. So join us next time as we finish up some of the other necessary buildings around here. We still need a blacksmith shop and a library, and we need to fill in some more houses and get some more residents in. Okay, so stay tuned for that. It should be a lot of fun. Moving villagers is always fun. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.